Let us talk about the idea that I have. Essentially, it's a mobile application with two parts. On both parts, there are two types of users: a store owner and an alcoholic. Okay, you guys, just so you know, this whole idea is based on alcohol, right? So, the store owner is someone who owns some store which happen to sell alcohol. Okay, the alcoholic, as the name implies, is someone who's genuinely into alcohol. Okay, here's how it is supposed to work, right? On the first part of the application, a store owner will show a bunch of alcohol reusers. For instance, and those alcohol will be referred to as grand prizes. A single grand prize may contain any number of alcohol. For instance, we might have a a grand prize which is actually made up of maybe a bottle of say what Jack Daniels, for instance, and a 24 pack of the so-called Savannah cider, right? So that right there is a single grand prize. Again, a grand prize can be made up of any number of alcohol. Okay, so now what the store owner is actually gonna do is there gonna be competitions hosted by the store, right? And on each of those competitions, there's gonna be a number of grand prizes, say five, for instance. Okay, so what's gonna then happen is a random grand prize will be picked, and that grand prize will be the prize to be won by any particular group in the neighborhood, right? Or rather, in the neighborhood where the store is actually located. I'm hoping we're clear so far. Okay. Again, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be grouping. We're gonna be having alcoholics from that particular area. You see, for instance, I'm in this township called Mayville. It's actually here in Durban, in KwaZulu Natal, in South Africa. Okay. So what I want to do is to have people living in this neighborhood to gamble, or rather to stand a chance of getting this free alcohol. Okay, so essentially on each competition, or rather draw or store draw, however you want to call it, the store will randomly pick a single grand prize and then randomly pick a user to win that particular grand prize. So that is pretty much it, guys, for the first part of the application. Now, getting to the second part of it, uh, basically what I'm planning on doing is, I want people to express themselves, right? Again, we are dealing with alcohol here, you guys. That's what we're concerned about. So I want people to make posts about the drama or tragedy or whatever story that happened when they were drunk. Okay. So I wanna have three types of posts. Okay. There's gonna be a past post, and there is uh an alcoholic would have to tell us would have to answer certain questions in order to make a post. Unlike the way things are done, say on Facebook, right? People they just write whatever they wanna write or make whatever video they wanna make. In our case, what's gonna be happening is in order to create a post, you're gonna have to answer some questions. Again, depending on whether you're creating a future post, a past post, or just a normal post. Okay. Okay. When creating a past post, here are some of the questions that you may have to answer in order to publish your post. Number one, where have you been, say last night, when you were drunk last night? Number two, who were you with? Right. Number three, what music were you listening to? Number four, what happened on that particular night? Okay, so again, these questions can take any shape or form. Okay, we might obviously, as you guys know, ideas they tend to evolve. I might find myself adding more questions or removing some that already exist. So essentially, there is the game plan. I want people to tell us what happened in the past when they were drunk. Again, ultimately, I came up with this because I've noticed that you see people who are into alcohol, even those that aren't that much. I mean, for the most part, people tend to like sharing stories which happened when they were drunk. Just so you know, you guys, I grew up down there. I'm hoping people can see that. So you see, the very first apartment used to be my home, but back then it wasn't the apartment, right? It was just some humongous shelter. So what was happening there is we were selling alcohol for many years. We came on this right here. We came on this place right here at home back in 2013, right? And right now, time has passed. Okay, it's 2020 what? 2023. Okay, so anyways, back to the story about my idea. Again, on the second part, I want people to answer some questions which relate to the event or rather story that took place when they were drunk. And that is what the past post. Okay, people would have to answer the questions I mentioned in order to create a post. Of course, they would have to answer those questions either by voice notes, by text, by video, by pictures, whatever the case may be. The point is they will have to answer those particular questions. Okay, so now getting to the second type of the post, they will have to create or they might create. So the so-called future post. I want people to tell us what are their plans. So where would they be on a particular day? Who they will be with? You see, you can think of this. You see, say there are some kids who are planning on hosting a party. Okay, so rather than telling each other by WhatsApp, Snapchat, or whatever, or putting their plan somewhere else, I wanna have a platform which will do precisely that, right? Without anything else. And that right there is nothing else but the future post of this whole idea thing, of this whole mobile application thing. Okay, so again, on the future post, I want people to tell us about their plans for the future. Okay, say on this coming Friday, where will they be? So, for instance, they might be hosting a party somewhere, right? Or they might be having a get together with their friends. Okay, again, what what's gonna be the requirements? Okay, entry requirements. I remember back in the day when I was a teenager. Okay, like friends used to make some contributions in order to go to some fancy uh, place just for a night or two in order to have fun. So essentially, the future host have to, or rather has to, take care of those things, those kind of problems. See, when teenagers get together and plan to party or whatever, you see, the future post is particularly for that. Again, this is just an idea for now. Over time, that might change. Okay, so and lastly, when it comes to the normal post will be is just as the name implies, it will be a normal post just like any other. However, it has to be it has to have to do with alcohol. That's what I'm trying to say, you guys. Yeah, you guys. Again, as you guys probably know, ideas evolve. So what I'm telling you might change over time. Oh, just so you know, you guys have decided to call my app alcoholic. I don't know, it might be a lame name. Might change it over time. It was just a name that came out to me. And I will keep you posted as I go on and on trying to implement it. Okay, so that's gonna be pretty much it, you guys. Cheers and go.